Hello everyone. Well, today what we're gonna try and do is we have a stove and an old plug. It's got the 3 prongs. Well, we're getting a new stove, new to us anyway. And so I need to change that old plug. Problem is, I looked at it already, and the wires coming in. There's only 3 wires, 2 hots and a neutral. There's no ground at all, so it's just a 3 wire. So we're gonna have to make it a 4 wire with 2 hots, a neutral, and a ground to hook up to our new stove. So I guess this is a fairly common problem. So what we're gonna try and show you guys today is replacing the wire at the circuit breaker, and then we're going to try and fish the wire through the wall and get it into the outlet box down there, and then we're going to wire the new plug, and our new stove already has the 4-prong adapter, so that's what we're going to try and do today. We got wire. It's the 8 gauge. It's pretty thick stuff. Always want to err on the side of caution, I think, when it comes to wires. I don't know. I try to anyway. Make sure it's going to be able to carry the load. So we got 8, and it's the 4 wires with 2 hots, neutral, and ground. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to pull our stove out of the way. We've already turned the breaker off, and I will test that again. But the power's off the stove. Light's not on. Burners, no worky. So pretty positive the power is off. But it is like a 220 or 240 or whatever, so we're going to make sure that it's off. So I'm just going to pull the stove away from the wall real quick and see what we got going on back there. Hold on a moment, folks. Pausing you. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but right now what we got is we don't even have the plug. So all we have is 3 wires coming out, and it looks like this was like jerry-rigged. The ground is just kind of bound up with this going into probably the neutral. These are probably the 2 hots right here, and looks like it was just taped really well. So go ahead and get our tools. I'm gonna carefully undo the tape and stuff, and then I'm gonna get my tester out just to make sure double check there's no electricity there. I turned it off at the breaker, but it's always good to make sure. So we get some tools and we'll be right back. Alright, so we're back. So what we're gonna do is just gonna peel away all this tape. There's a lot of it. Pretty sure this is not how it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a plug here or something, but we still, at any rate, we still only have 3 wires coming in, no ground. So, okay, you probably don't need to see this. Basically, I'm just going to unwrap all this and unwrap all the tape, pull the wires away, pull the stove away, and then see what we got going on here. Maybe there is a ground, maybe we'll get lucky and there's a ground hiding somewhere. But we're going to undo all this stuff and then test it, and we'll be back. You probably don't need to see us unwrapping all that. I'm just telling you that's what I'm going to do. Unwrap all the tape, pull the stove away, check the power with the tester, and then we'll continue from there. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. I didn't want to just cutting the wires, so I trimmed them off here. So we got these 3. I'm going to pull this box out, see if I can see a little bit more what's going on there. I checked the wires again. It does appear that they are off. So Make sure you do that, please. Because 240 could be not fun. Or 220, whatever. 110 and 110 is 220, right? So I'm just going to go through this to see what I'm dealing with here, wire-wise. Still haven't got it. Alright. Take this plate off here, maybe? Yeah. Okay, so there's a box. And I was kind of hoping that I could just pull on this wire and it would come through. Maybe? I was hoping I could just fish it through. Nope, leave the tools alone, little one. So, definitely does not look like there's a ground. Looks like this is just, No, leave that alone, love. I'm making a video, sweetheart. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So, I'm going to go out to the breaker box. And, I'm really hoping that this isn't tacked to the studs. Hopefully, since they, I don't know, Mickey Mouse wired my house. So hopefully they didn't tack this to the studs and I will be able to pull it through, I'm hoping. If not, I'm going to have to do some serious sheetrock work, I think, which is always fun. So, anyway, I'm going to take you guys out to the breaker box and I'm going to unplug this at the breaker. And then hopefully, my plan is to get my new wire, tie it to the end out there in the breaker box, and then hopefully I can pull this / push it through and pull the new wire through behind it, hopefully, if it's not stapled. If it's stapled, like I said, we're going to have to do a bunch of drywall work. So I'm hoping it's not. So we'll see. That's the plan. I'm going to take you out to the breaker box and you will see what we're dealing with there. It's horrible. The water heater is like in the worst place ever to work on the breaker box. So yeah, but however bad a shape your garage is in and your breaker box and all that, this will make you thankful that it's not worse, because it's almost inaccessible. It's ridiculous. I'm not sure what they were thinking. Anyway, I'll take you out there, unhook it at the breaker box, and yeah, let's go get to it. Hold on a second. Alright, so to truly appreciate this, you're going to have to see for yourself what I'm dealing with here. Yours should be a walk in the park compared to this. This is just abominable. Whoever decided to put the hot water heater right there in front of this, so it's almost impossible to work on with any kind of ease whatsoever. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with, folks. Man, I don't even know if I can get you guys in position where you can see or not. This is so ridiculous. Balance you precariously on the wiring from the hot water heater, maybe. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. Let me get my light. We'll be right back. Okay, so here's the breaker for the stove. So we got to unscrew these two parts here, and then like I said, it's almost impossible for me to see what's going on and trace the wires because I got to lean over this stupid hot water heater. Anyway, so these two, they come out here and they go down and they come down and they go into there, and then I don't know if you can see this, but it's the one wire that comes up here. I believe it goes into the neutral bar over here. So I guess it's ground and neutral. I guess it looks like the only thing going on here. Anyway, people out there, be happy about and be thankful for your box that it doesn't look like this, as this one is just a mess. And I can't really even access stuff very easily at all because of this stupid hot water heater. So it's just a nightmare to work on. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a screwdriver and pull these two anyway. I'm going to double check that, make sure it's off, and we'll be back. Okay, so it's the one that's off, so I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this here. Let me go ahead and unscrew this one here. These should be the two hot, fairly certain. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to pull those, trying not to hit any other wires and stuff while I'm at it, and I'm going to try and unscrew this other one. Oh my goodness, this is such a mess. I don't know if you can see it over here. The other one's like over here. I believe it's down here. I believe it's, I don't even know if you guys can see that. This one right here. So yeah. Like I said, be thankful that you're not working on this one, and it wouldn't even, it'd be so much easier if I could just access it, but the stupid hot water heater is literally right in the way. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these two out of the way. I'll need my pliers. Okay, so I'm gonna try and be careful not to hit anything else with these as I pull them out, hopefully. Man, these wires are pretty rigid. Okay, there's one, two. Don't touch anything. I don't like electricity. Okay, so I'm gonna have to bring it out from behind here. This one anyway. Shoot. Okay. And pull this one out too from behind there. Okay. I've gotten them. And like I said, I can't see squat diddly, and I can't lean over there because this hot water heater is in the way. Oh my goodness. Whoever put this in here should have to work with electricity behind a hot water heater for the rest of their life. I don't know. At any rate, okay, so it goes down there that way, and it goes over there. So if I can get that out of there. Okay, so basically I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do because I'm going to have to try and get back there somehow. So I'm going to snake this out and down to it's this cord here, the one behind it. So I'm going to undo its neutral over here, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull this 3-wire out. Now it goes down farther down here where you can't see into the wall, and then it goes, I'm thinking it goes behind the sheetrock, and then the stove's just on the other side. So down that way about 5-6 feet, and then should be a plug. So I'm hoping it's just a direct route and I can just feed it through and there's no staples. So what I'm going to do, let you know what I'm doing while I'm off camera here, or you're paused, unscrewing the neutral, pulling the wire down, and then seeing if I can pull it from our box and if it comes out. So that's what we're going to do. I'll give you one more look at what I'm dealing with here. Yeah, how would you like to work on electrical with the hot water heater right in the way? Huh? So one thing to be thankful for. Sorry, I think I've harped on that enough. Anyway, gonna do what I said, and then we'll unpause you, and we'll be back. Wow, so this has turned into quite the project. Disconnected the power from the breakers. Disconnected it from the the neutral bar, and then well, as you can see here, I've had to pull the washer and dryer out. Once again, the hot water tank is in the worst position possible. I've had to knock holes in the walls to try and follow where the thing is on the other side, the wire. And as you can see, I have several holes here. This, I was able to get it through. Let's see. Let me see here. This hole here. I made another hole right there, and then I was able to do the thing around the hard 90 there. But there's no way I'm going to be able to pull this around a hard 90 in a 2x4 by just going through there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull the wire out, and I've knocked enough holes in the sheetrock to where I think I'm going to be able to just guide it through. Put my arm through far enough, poke it through, and then I'm not going to worry about the hard 90. I'm just going to come through this hole right here and then come up. Forget going. Yeah, that's ridiculous. There's no way I could with that hot water heater there. It's not possible. So normally you could probably feed the wire through, but there's no way. There's no way you could pull that around a hard 90. There's no way. I'll show you what I had to do to pull that one around the hard 90. And I really don't think anything they could tie it off with would hold. As you can see here, I got this fished out away. What I had to do, it's not stapled anywhere, fortunately, or it would have been even worse, but I had to crimp. These bar clamps are awesome, by the way. And if you get the ones with where it's like, it's got a gearbox in here, it can crush like up to 600 pounds. I had to take this and then reverse it so it's pushing, and then I had to push it against my cabinet here and use like this, and it was all I could do to get it around that hard 90. Now it's coming through pretty easy, but it was all I could do to pull it. I mean, it was ridiculous. So that's just going around that 90 degree with that stuff. No staples in at all. So now I think I can pretty much just pull this thing through. And as you can see, this is like fiberboard, and that it like was creasing that. So hello. So I can just. It's not super easy, but well, I thought I could just pull it. Pressure on it will hit it. There we go. Okay. Got it. So, pulled it through. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to get our other one and push it through just that one corner. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. It might take a long time for me to actually show you. So, I'm going to take my wire. Seems a little bit more, even though it's pretty thick, seems a little bit easier to move than that one. I'm going to feed it. Oh, what just happened? Nothing, okay. I'm going to feed it through that hole there. You can see that. Then I'm going to come over here, go through the 2x4, which is right behind this 4x4 right here. Go through here. And the holes are like behind that piece of wood there. It's just like the perfect storm here, nightmare job. So I got to go through 1, 2, 3 studs. And I think I got enough holes there to where I can reach through my arm and push it, find the hole, and push it through there. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no way that your job could be more difficult than this one. So, and I've never done this before, so I'm not a professional by any means. But I tried to minimize the sheetrock damage. I can patch those holes. So it lets me, I have enough holes there, I think. I might need to make a few more. But I have enough holes, I think, where I can pass it through the studs. So that's what I'm going to do. After I get it fed through, we'll be back. Alright, see you guys. Okay, so after much craziness, finally got this thing fed through as our plan was. Now, I got the box right here, 2x4 right here. I'm going to come down 1.5 inches because I was noticing that the other stove, it's got an indent on the stove, so it comes down like flush and then it comes in a little bit. And the plug is pretty wide, so I'm going to bring, and this would be up where it's kind of like flush. This would be, so I'm going to bring the box down to about down to here, underneath this stud right here, tack it into here, and then up into the thing there. So the box will be down here where the indent is for the other stove. In fact, I'm going to go measure. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll measure how far down that indent is too. But I'm thinking that'll give us enough clearance. Don't look at my garage, please. It's horrible. Actually, maybe you should look at my garage. It'll make you feel better about your garage, no matter how bad it is. I'm fairly certain. Okay, so here's the stove that I have here. I don't even know if I can get the camera in between that and my garage door here. Okay, so here you are. All right. Here's the stove like I'm talking about. It's like flush along the back. It has an indent, and then this plug is at a. You can see that that plug is pretty wide. It's about almost 2 inches thick, I'm thinking. So this indent is 9 inches tall. So as long as my box is in here somewhere, that'll give me extra room where I can push the stove closer to the wall. So be mindful if you have something like this on your stove. You might need to move your box. And if you're doing all this work anyway, it's going to be worth it to not have your stove sticking out that extra 2 inches, really. So just be mindful of that. That plug is pretty thick. And you might need to move your box a little bit to make it fit better. So I'm going to do that. I checked inside the wall for wire and stuff like that. I do have another wire back there, but it's higher up. So I'm going to be okay drilling right there. So I'm going to just drill under the stud here. And I said 9 inches, right? So, oh yeah, so it'll be perfect. So drill under the stud, 4 holes, and then I can put it right here, and then the plug will go upside. Also be mindful of, check the plug on the back of your stove. Does it want to go up or down? Like, I think I might have to make sure that the box is basically like it's looking upside down, because it looks like that's how the plug wants to go. So be mindful of that also when you're planning on doing this. So I'm going to put this about here. I'm going to trace out the hole with a Sharpie, drill the 4 corner holes, and then use the reciprocating something. I don't know names this stuff really well. The little, it's like jigsaw, I'm sorry. Jigsaw to cut out in between the 4 drill holes. And then I'll have that. And then, yeah, then I can just run the wire through the back of this box here probably, and then I gave myself plenty of slack here. I'll strip the wire down, I'll install the plug, and then I'll give myself enough wire on the other end, and I'll show you how to
That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna show you how to put it into the breaker, hopefully without electrocuting myself or shocking myself. Hopefully neither. So that's the plan. I'm gonna drill this out, show you what it's looking like, put the box in, and hopefully get that plug in, and then do the other part. So we'll be right back after I get this drilled out here and cut out. Okay. Okay, so move the box down to here, and then I double checked, and shoot, I'm about to triple check. But I think the way the cord in the back of the stove likes to sit with the ground peg towards the bottom. I'm gonna go double check again real quick. Hold on. Okay, yeah, the the ground plug towards the bottom. So in this wiring diagram, I don't know why you can see that, but we got the 250 volts is the one going to the Y here, the other one going to the X. So I'm assuming that's either going to be the red or the black. It doesn't matter, I don't think. Then we got the bare wire going to the ground, and then the neutral wire going to the white. So basically, I'm pretty sure, I did some research online. People were saying it doesn't matter, and I don't think it, I don't know, see why it would. It doesn't matter which one your red or your white wire goes to. So I peeled this back a little bit. I'll go ahead and cut around it. Okay, so I cut down a little bit each. I left quite a bit of room here so I can push it back up into the wall. So there's not like a ton of wire. This wire doesn't really bend that well. It's pretty heavy gauge, so mindful of that. Okay, so I'm gonna strip a little bit of the ground back. Not much. Okay, and then just tear some of that off. It's just brown paper. And then I got a little tool to take, like, they're saying like strip just a little bit off, just enough to like fit in there, I think. So I'm seeing, let's see, the ground is the roundish one here, so that's the bare wire. So it goes in, let's see how far it goes in. It's gonna be this one here, green. So I'm just seeing how far you want to shove it in there. I think it goes in about an inch. Shoot. Yeah. Yeah, it goes in about an inch. So I'm going to strip about an inch off of each one of these with that tool. Which would be this bad boy right here. So that's the 8. So the 8's the big one right there. So I'm going to go try and separate these a little bit so I got some room to work. Let's see, I'll do the red one here. I'm going to just clamp down on the 8 and go up about an inch. Let's see. Hopefully it'll peel the wire, or it's supposed to just peel the housing right off there. It's coming. If I can grip down a little bit. So anyway, you want to, it looks like maybe this works better with, I'll pull those off. You probably don't need to see me doing that. Anyway, I'm pulling off about an inch. And this these are not solid wires, they're a bunch of wires rolled together, it looks like, so this doesn't work as well with that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and strip the wires. I'll be right back because you don't need to see all that time wasting procedure. Alright, so we stripped the wire. Then you could probably see a little diagram back here. It's got there's an X and a Y, and those are for the two powered ones. Then the bare copper wire goes to the G, the ground, and then the white goes to the W. So got an X, a Y, white up here, and then the green one down here. So those correspond to these plugs here. The green or the bare wire is going to go to the ground right here. So just make sure you get those in the right places. But once again, I don't think it matters if the red or the black, your two hot wires, which one goes into the X or which one goes into the Y, because it shouldn't matter at all. They're both being plugged into a power source on your breaker box. So just go ahead and plug either the red or the black into the Y and the X, the white wire into this one where it says white, and then this one where it says green is going to be the ground. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think let's see, so they're all, and I'm gonna make sure that my ground was down, because the way that my stove wants to go is plug wants to be down. Okay, so it plugs in like this, so the wire will run up the wall, but that's how it wants to be. So check out how yours wants to be. Then you can position, I believe you can position your plug however you want. Just depends upon how your stove plug wants to go, basically, because it's a pretty hefty plug and wire, and it'll want to go which way it wants to go. So just accommodate it with the box here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug those into the corresponding things, and then I'm going to snug it up to here. Maybe I'll do a couple of these. I don't know how well you can see. Kind of a narrow space here between a couple of cupboard counters, but let's see. I think I can get you over there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and have this upside down like this. So let's see if you can see what's going on here. Okay, so ground is this one here. This is green. So I'm going to I'm going to have that down. Then the white one is going to be towards the top. So the opposite of the ground, basically. So I'm going to position it accordingly. So I'm going to try anyway. Ground down. Kind of make the wires how they want to be. You see what I'm saying? Black and red to the sides, ground down, and then the white up. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in there, and then sorry for the baby being angry in the background. She's kind of tired, so you know how that goes if you had kids. She's being a little booger. Okay, so kinda, oops, these are all pretty stiff wires, so it's almost like you gotta put them all in at once, looks like, kinda. So that's kinda how I'm doing it. I'm just kinda working them all in there at once-ish. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten on the black one first, because it looks like it's, I don't think there's any, supposed to be stuff sticking out though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's supposed to be this gap when you have it in there. So I'm gonna try and bend it a little bit so it's like kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like gonna go right in there. I'm hoping. Sorry about that little one.
I know some people complain about these videos having a little one in the background, but it's real life. People got kids, people got families. That's how it is. Okay, so I put a little bend on them. Once again, I'm going to try and put them all in there. Okay. That's a little bit better there. So those are all, there's only a little bit of copper left showing. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down, I think. So that worked pretty good. You kind of get them pre-situated if you can. It says it tightened to 25 foot-pounds or whatever. I don't know. Or I don't have a torque wrench. So I'm thinking you just want to do it pretty solid. So it's not going to come out of there. Just like slip out basically. You probably need a bigger gauge screwdriver than this one. It's a pretty big one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish those. That worked really well to prepare them. Kind of crimp them. Position them how you want them. White up, ground down, whatever. Red. Position them kind of where you want them according to where you want your plug to be situated. And then go ahead and have them all right there and try and push them all at once. Because the wire is so heavy gauge, it's going to be difficult to try and do one at a time and get them all in there because you're really going to have to do some bending and stuff. So try that. I'm going to go ahead and get a bigger gauge screwdriver and then finish screwing these in. And we'll be back. Okay, so I got a bigger screwdriver and I torqued them all down where I feel pretty comfortable that they're not going to come out of there. So now that that's done, we can go ahead. We can put this plate on here, and it just 2 screws hold that on, and then once again it's got little screws in here so you can rotate your plate however you want it. But I'm gonna secure that with a couple of the screws, and then probably later I'll get one that actually has the round thing that fits this so it looks nicer, but it's behind the stove, no one really cares. So go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and put this on there. I'll pull the wire back then after I put these 2 on there real quick. Let's see. I think you start them a little bit because they kind of got these things on there so they fit on there like that. Oh my goodness, sorry about my little one. It's night time and she's tired and Daddy needs to get the stove done because otherwise Mama's not going to be able to cook on it all day tomorrow. So I'm trying to get this done. Okay. Okay, so that's on there. Go ahead and snug it down. Hope this helps, man. There's no way your wiring can be more difficult than mine. That was a nightmare. I probably spent a good 2 hours knocking holes in the walls and trying to feed the other wire back through there. It was like a perfect storm out there, how bad everything was. Just a nightmare. Okay, so that bracket's on there good. So now yep, I'm going to position this down. So, yeah, fortunately, I got this hole here. It actually helps me feed this up in there a little bit. So I can have that extra wire going there. And then, oops, that's pulling the wrong one there. Okay. So, man, these wires are no joke. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and I wonder if I can get a bend in it because the hole's up in the back part there, and it really wants to push it this way because it's kind of coming down at an angle. So I put a bend in them at the end there. Doesn't help that I got another wire. I think it's for the kind of complicates matters too. Okay, you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna put like a bend in it. So when it comes to, sorry, I'm like spider webbing here. I put a bend in it, so when it comes into there, it's not as bad because the wires are certainly stiff. I'm saying there's I got another set of wires back there for that. Shoot, I'm gonna bend it a little bit more. For the dryer, it's right back there too, so that doesn't help. So I'm trying to position this wire out of the way while I do this, and it's like fighting me because there's that other set of wires right there. Come on, are you kidding me right now? Nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. That's for sure. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna call that pretty good. And I think once I get these screws in there, it'll cinch it down. I'm hoping. So I'm gonna go ahead and open a little baggie and get some screws going here. Let's see. Come on, little fella. Okay. Alright, there's one. Get another one going down here. Then I'll just snug it back in there, I'm thinking. And the wires will give. They don't have a lot of give, because they're pretty burly, but this metal frame is pretty solid. So I'm thinking it will make it give there. Okay. Thinking I may want to get all 4 of these in here, and then I'll just tighten down kind of periodically. Okay, so you get the idea, right? You don't need to see me tighten all these in here. Fairly certain of that. Pretty sure you guys get the concept of screwing stuff in. So I'm just going to kind of screw at intervals and just kind of gently push it back in there. That's what I'm going to do. So we're groovy there. Yeah. After this, then I'll show you how to put it in the breaker. So, alright, we'll be back. Tightening it down. Alright. By the way, got this hooked up. It's pretty solid. Got this, it's called a 50 amp flush mount power outlet. Got it at the Home Depot there. I think this is standard for all the new stoves. So it's going to have the 3 lines and then the one kind of round circle towards the bottom, or whichever way you want to angle it, because you can turn this bracket and you can position this however you want it. Like I said, do it how your stove wants it. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to take you guys out to the garage and try and wire the rest of that without getting seriously electrocuted or shocked. Hopefully neither. Alright. See you in a minute. Alright, back out in the garage. Just to give you an idea of what I was dealing with and why your project will not even come close to this. Okay, look. So I got pipe in the wall right here. I got this, which is right where the wire was going through the 2x4s. This is over that, and the water pipes are screwed into that. I had to fish the stupid thing up, and this pipe to make my work was running right through here. Then I got more wires for like an outlet right here. More wires. The dryer wire is right there, and then I got this
this stinking hot water heater right in the way of everything. So yeah, I could pretty much guarantee you your project is going to be like a cakewalk compared to this one. And yes, I knocked a few holes in the walls, and but that's stinking easy to patch. Sheetrock is easy to patch. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try and do this, and I realize I'm probably not doing everything up to code. At this point, I don't even care. I think you're supposed to have you're supposed to pass it up through the bottom here, and you have the bracket there, but this thing makes I had a difficult enough time trying to unscrew the thing, let alone have something to where it clamps and stuff. So I'm gonna pass it up through there. The clamp and stuff all fell down behind here, so there's no way I'm getting it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run the wires to these two, to my ground and to my neutral. I'm gonna call it good. So we'll see if we can show you how we do that without dying. I guess the wise thing to do would be to turn the whole main off, but then you don't have power to your house. So I got a wife and kids in there playing games, watching TV, doing all that stuff, so that's probably not gonna happen. So we will risk the whole death of my shocking bit. That's not good. There's a strip wire there. Oh my goodness, one of these days I'm just gonna pay an electrician to come out here and relive this nightmare. Oh, this is just bad. Anyway, it's so difficult to get over here to the ground and stuff and neutral. It is crazy, literally crazy. I'm gonna have to find a couple that are. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna tell you. I don't think I can have you watch because I need that space. I was having you perched up on here, and I'm probably gonna have to sit on top of the hot water heater or somewhere close, just so I can get over there to find. I gotta plug it into the neutral, the white. You'll see where all the white wires are going. So if you're gonna wire this up yourself, you'll see a bar or a tab where you'll see a lot of bare wires are going, maybe green wires, and that's the ground. And then you'll see like another one where the neutral are going. So just find an empty thing along both of those, and just screw the wire into that. And then you'll come over to your whatever breaker. I got a 30 amp, I think, double, and you'll bring your two hots over here. So it'll be your black and your red into the double breaker, and that's this guy here. Oh. So black and red will go into your double breaker, just kind of like this. I think this is to the dryer. So you got black and red, and then you come down and you'll got like the one going to the white. You'll find an empty thing along the bar, and the one going to the ground. You find a thing along the bar, and then you just clamp the screw down on top of it. It's really self-explanatory. Just be careful, be safe. I'm gonna go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up through the bottom, like I said, and then I'm gonna strip off probably looks like about 1.5 feet. So I'm gonna come down I'll show you. I'll just give you. I've got about 6 feet extra wire here, so I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do after I cut the wire off. I'm gonna come down about 1.5 feet on the black, and so I'm gonna have like my black and my red wire heading this way, coming up here. Okay, and then I'm gonna have my white wire and my ground wire coming up to this side, and they'll plug into something over there. So I'll probably do a little crimp on the end so they can come up and just go right into a thing, and then I'll probably do the same over here. I'll probably have a crimp about this far, so as you can see they come up and they kind of crimp over. So you want to give yourself plenty of leeway for those. You don't strip the wires, you just strip the main covering off. So then the wires, they have their own coverings, and then they'll go, except for the ground, of course. It's got paper usually, but that doesn't matter. So that's what I'm gonna do. Pretty self-explanatory, hopefully. And I'll show you, hopefully, if I can, the finished work there. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll show. I hope I explained it good. If you've never done this, this can be a little bit intimidating. I'm not an expert by any means, and it still kind of intimidates me. Make sure you got your power off to the one you're working with for sure, and just be very careful around not to hit the wires into other stuff too. Okay. Maybe once you get your wires down here, maybe cap the 3 or not, or the 2. The ground doesn't really matter a whole lot. Just be careful not to knock it into a couple lives at the same time. But it should be fairly difficult to do that. But you don't want the other ones accidentally knocking into a couple things at the same time, maybe. So if you want to be extra careful, you could put a little wire cap lid on the top of them, so it's covering all your exposed metal. Okay. Anyway, I hope I explained that good enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut off my excess wire and give myself like about 1.5 feet to work with down the cable here. So hope I explained that well. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and hopefully I'll show you the finished work over here when we're done, and then I'll get my stove and hopefully it'll all work. Okay, we'll be back, folks. Okay, we're not entirely done yet, but I wanted to show you what I was talking about there. So you can see how I came up through the bottom, through the wall there, where my light is. Came up through the bottom, and I had like quite a bit stripped off. So it's going to give me room to work. The white and the ground to this side, and the black and the red over here to this side. So that's why it left me that much, and I can easily cut off some if I need to. But you definitely want to give yourself a little bit more than necessary. That way it's better to have too much and just cut some off than have too little and wind up, yeah, really up the creek without the paddle, proverbially. So there we go. I just wanted to show you that in case my explanation wasn't good enough. It probably was, but sometimes a picture or a video is worth 1,000 words. I'm a video guy myself. Helps me to see what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this now. All right. So done. As you can see, I think you can see, got the 2 wires going over here to the 30 amp, and then the white going over here to the white bar, and then the neutral traveling up here and going into the neutral bar. And that's all that there is to it. It's pretty easy to wire stuff. Just don't shock yourself or get electrocuted. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. That's how you rewire and install and wire into the breaker box the new 4-prong outlet for your stove. Thanks for watching. Hope that helped. I couldn't find anything on the internet that really showed everything. So I think I showed pretty much all there was to show. Overall, if I would say, if you don't know what the heck you're doing, you could probably do this whole project in 2 hours pretty easily. It took me about 6 because of the ridiculousness of my situation here. But the average person with a normal situation, probably about 2 hours. So good luck out there. By no means is it impossible, nor do you need to hire an electrician or all that, unless you don't feel comfortable with electricity. But always be safe than sorry, I guess. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day.